What's up? Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm your host, Keith, Man of Letters, Knowledge, Information, and Entertainment. I hope you guys are having a good evening. We're going to continue your forces and how to use them. First and foremost, this channel is crowdfunded, as you guys know. The Patreon channel is one way you guys can help support the channel so we can grow, so that we can produce the content, so we can chill and be homies and a cool setting. Those of you who have been on the Patreon, thank you guys so much for contributing. We got this mic. We're paying for this laptop, cool ring light. Like, we're using the Patreon money to grow the empire. I appreciate the hell out of you guys. And for those of you that are just liking the content, sharing the content, even that's enough. Just even being here. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate the hell out of it. It means a lot. So with that being said, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Keith, Man of Letters, Knowledge, Information, and Entertainment. Happy that you guys are here. We're going to continue your forces and how to use them, which is a wonderful, absolutely wonderful text. Like I always say, you guys should read old books. Why should you read old books? First and foremost, you guys should read old books because, especially for a sort of spiritual context, is, as you guys know, let me turn this bad boy up. As you guys know, there's a lot of stuff that gets lost in translation. There's a lot of times where people like to put their own spin on things. They give their own interpretations. They give their own views. They attach their own life experiences to a practice, as we all do. It's not a bad thing. It's just, it's nice to go back to the source as a refresher to some of our favorite philosophies. You know what I mean? It's a good habit to get into. I assure you guys, if you read old books on texts like this, mind power, or spirituality, esotericism, psychic powers, aliens, philosophical thoughts in this realm, it's nice. In this book, I'll start in just a second, you'll see that a lot of the things we talk about today, that you hear from today, are all the same thing. This book was written 100 years ago, over 100 years ago now, except it's got a little bit of a different flavor. I have a lot of heavy criticisms on modern day spirituality and the unbalanced direction that it's pushing everyone in, and I don't like it. And it makes me happy that I'm getting sort of reinforced by Sir Christian Larson in this text. So hopefully you guys will get just as much out of it. If you would like to follow along, which I highly recommend you should, unless you care, unless you'd rather stare at my lovely face the whole time, here's the link for it. Bada bing, bada boom. Whoops, wrong button. File of Cipher Onk Biracial Root Witch. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you. What up? What it do, boo boo? Okay, that being said, I hope you guys have gotten your packed your oregano, brewed some of your potion tea, or done with taking your shoes off, gotten comfy, lit in the fire, whatever you do. Just relax. Just relax. You know what I mean? Just take a deep breath. We're going to take a couple deep breaths together, right? In. And out. Let all of it out. All that air and the little tiny crevices of your lungs, push it all out. All right. Feel free to repeat as necessary. By all means. By all means. And we shall commence. Let's run it. Stream connection is in excellent condition. Nice. Everyone slap that like button for me. Pretty pleased with short on top so we can get this video broadcasted to others. It'll be a small group as per usual because entertainment seems to be a little more important than knowledge. Right? The libraries are empty. The stadiums are packed. About the football stadium is packed. The library is empty. But to be honest, I kind of like it that way. So with that being said, let me know if there's any issues with the video or with the sound. I'll be happy to do what I can. That being said, ladies and gents, boys and girls, welcome back to the channel. Tonight we are reading from Your Forces and How to Use Them by Christian Larson. 1911, I believe, was the year of publishing. It's nice. It's nice, ain't it? Thank you for being here. I'm going to pull up our little Duke, and then we're going to run this beat, all right? Run the Duke, please. Why is it always so acoustic? Here we go. The comments have been empty so far. If you guys are there, just type a couple dots and hit send so I know that I'm not talking to a glitched out room. All right, here we go. Chapter 19. We're halfway through. We've been talking about enthusiasm. We've been talking about the power that comes with acting from certain emotional levels. Excitement, enthusiasm, what that means for our attention, what that means for our focus, and what that means for our ability to instigate lasting and meaningful change in our lives. Because that's the idea, right? We can change moment to moment. In fact, we do change moment to moment, but I get that the thing is meaningful and lasting change over the course of time. That's what we're going for. That's what we're going for. Thank you kindly, Chidori and Sublime and Empress. I appreciate it. Okay, we're going to run it. Whenever you feel grateful for anything, you always feel near to the real quality of that particular thing. A person who is ungrateful, however, always feels that there is a wall between himself and the good things in life. Usually, there is such a wall, though he has produced it himself through his ingratitude. But the man who is grateful for everything places himself in that attitude where he may come in closer contact with the best thing everywhere. And we know very well that the most grateful people always receive the best attention everywhere. We all may meet disappointment at some time and not get exactly what we wanted, but we shall find that the more grateful we are, the less numerous will those disappointments become. It has been well said that no one feels inclined to give his best attention to the man who is always knocking,
and it is literally true. On the other hand, if you are really grateful and mean it is very seldom that you do not receive the best attention from everybody wherever you may go. The most important side of this law, however, is found in the fact that the more grateful you are for everything good that comes into your life, the more closely you place your mind in contact with that power in life that can produce greater good. It wasn't from this book. I can't remember where it was from, but specifically talking about how gratitude works. I love that there's corresponding elements throughout time. Is the power of gratitude is that it's the tether that connects you to the other side. You say I am thankful for soft grass beneath my feet. And it's kind of silly, but it's also kind of not, because you can experience a type of peace and serenity to feel soft green grass under your feet. So say you have a sunset and it's a cloudy sky, so you get the colors dancing off the clouds as the sun goes down, and the grass is soft and it's warm, but there's a cool breeze, and you have it's a gratitude for a moment, and the acknowledgement of the beauty, which is what gratitude really is. It's just the acknowledgement of a thing, is the attachment to the etheric, is the attachment to the other side, the place of pure potential. And that's what we're accessing via gratitude. Yes, it is as simple as just saying, I'm thankful for this glass of water. That's all it takes. But its implications, its reverberations throughout the time-space continuum is infinite. Is infinite. All right, we'll continue. Another among the finer forces is that of aspiration. I don't think I've ever read about aspiration in a sort of new age spiritual context. So I'm excited about what he has to say about this. He says, no person should fail to aspire constantly and aspire to the very highest that they can possibly awaken in their life. Aspiration always tends to elevate the mind and tends to lift the mind into larger and greater fields of action. And when the mind finds itself in this larger field of action, it will naturally gain power to do greater things. We all realize that so long as we live down in the lower story, we cannot accomplish very much. It is when we lift our minds to the higher stories of the human structure that we begin to gain possession of ideas and powers through which greater things may be achieved. The same is true for ambition. Ambition not only tends to draw the mind up into the higher and larger fields, but also tends to build up those faculties through which we are to work. Your characters, for example, the different aspects of yourself that either push you in the direction or pull you from a direction. If you're tremendously ambitious to do a certain thing, the force of that ambition will tend to increase the power and ability of that faculty through which your ambition may be realized. To illustrate, if you are ambitious to succeed in the business world, the force of that ambition is very strong. Constantly make your business faculties stronger and more able, so that finally your business ability will have become sufficiently great to carry your ambition through. You cannot be too ambitious. Ooh, interesting. You cannot be too ambitious, provided you are ambitious for something definite and continue to give your whole life and soul to that which you expect or desire to accomplish through that ambition. I have a question for you guys. I have actually heard quite the contrary again. So I like reading old books. Because 100 years ago, what they were saying was have ambition. You actually cannot have too much. The exact opposite has been happening these days, which is saying don't have ambition, don't have desires, don't have wants, don't have needs. You shouldn't want anything, you shouldn't desire anything. Ambition, or especially too much ambition, will ruin your peace, or Like that's sort of what we get, right? That's sort of what we get from spirituality. At least that's what I've been picking up. Maybe I've been barking up the wrong tree. I'm sure there's lots of trees in spirituality, and maybe I'm barking up the wrong one, and I need to move sideways a bit. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this? I like it. I I understand that ambition too much can cause you to become imbalanced, and I understand also that uh, if you're unable to slow down and take a deep breath and appreciate what's already here, then you're fucked. Because then you're sort of chasing that neon rainbow. I'm living that honky tonk dream. Cause all I've ever wanted was to pick this guitar and sing. Just trying to be somebody. Just wanna be heard and seen. Chasing that neon rainbow. Living that honky tonk dream. Used to love listening to Alan Jackson when I was a kid. Don't judge me. Anywho, but I also like to look towards nature for pretty much the natural world is God, basically, for me, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm almost positive that no other religion on the face of the planet will disagree 99% of the time. And what I see in nature is everything is evolving, everything is becoming more complex, everything is, if there's a vacuum in nature, it's filled. Nature abhors a vacuum. You cut a square into a forest, the forest will fill that hole. Right? That's just the way it is. Right? And so with that being said, I feel like nature is always pushing. There is an ambition to nature that's inherent in itself that craves growth, complexity, expansion, evolution. You know what I mean? If you're not growing, you're dying, in other words. So I like this concept. Of course, anything can become unbalanced, but I appreciate that he says that you can't have too much ambition, because what that also does is it doesn't give the new agers today a chance to say, well, because it's all relative, today's world. Everything's relative. There's no such thing as right or wrong. Doesn't matter what you do, like you're on the right path regardless of what you do. I don't believe that either. I'm fucking sorry, I don't. So like everything today is all relativism. And what he's saying by you can't have too much ambition is he's not giving that excuse of, well, you could have a little ambition, but not too much. You have, there's too much ambition that you can have. And it's almost like, I mean, he wrote this 100 years ago, so maybe that was the thought back then. And now I feel like if he were to consume a large amount of information, I actually don't know what he would think. I'm curious to know what he would think. I feel like I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he might be converted. Maybe he might be like, you guys are a bunch of schmucks. Like, what the no wonder your world is going to shit. I mean, the world. Never mind. We'll continue with the book, right? Everything going good in the stream. Drogon. Here. What's cracking? Cool. Good. Everything seems good. Let me know if there's any issues with the stream. Carrying on, we know the power of ambition and know that nobody can be ambitious. We realize that anyone can move forward. No matter what his position may be or where he may be, he can, through the power of ambition, begin to gain ground and continue to gain ground indefinitely. The average mind, however, has very little ambition and makes no effort to arouse this tremendous force, but we may depend upon the fact that when this force is fully aroused in any mind, a change for the better must positively come before long. I'm going to do a whole separate video on this, so give me a second to put this in my notes for further elucidation. Carrying on, the force of an ideal is another among the finer forces that should receive constant and thorough attention. When you have an ideal and live for it, every second of your existence, you place yourself in the hands of a drawing power that is immense. And that power will tend to draw out into action every force, power, and faculty that you may possess, especially those forces and qualities that will have to be developed in order that you may realize that ideal. I'll write that down too. This book is big on doing things in order to expand the qualities that are asleep in your soul, in your mind, body, and soul, to get what you want. And it just touched on it again. It's saying, hey, if you have an ideal and you hold it passionately, you start to arouse, you start to evoke the latent qualities, right? The things in you that are sleeping. You wake those up, whatever it may be that you need to accomplish the goal, as long as you can hold focus on that desire, as long as you can be specific on your direction, maintain your willpower. So it goes on further to say, have an ideal and the highest that you can picture, then worship it every hour with your whole soul. Never calm down, and do not neglect it for a moment. We all know very well that it is the people who actually worship their high ideals with mind and heart. Right? Masculine, feminine, conscious, subconscious, both parts of your fucking being. It says, we all know very well that it is the people who actually worship their high ideals with mind and heart and soul that finally realize those ideas. Realize meaning to be made real, to materialize. It is such people who reach the high places, and the reason why is easily explained. Easily explained. Give your attention, or rather, your whole life to some lofty ideal, and you will tend to draw into action all the finer and higher forces of your system. Those forces that can create greater ability, greater talent, greater genius, those forces that can increase your capacity, bring into action all your finer elements, and give you superior power and superior worth in every sense of the term. Those forces which, when aroused, cannot positively fail to do the work you wish to have done. A fact well known in its connection is that when the mind is turned persistently upon a certain ideal, every power that is in you begins to flow in that direction, and this is the very thing you want. When we can get all that is in us to work for our ideals and to work towards our ideals, then we shall positively reach whatever goal we have in view. Closely connected with our ideals, we find our visions and dreams. The man without a vision will never be anything but an ordinary man, and the people who never dream of greater things will never get beyond ordinary. It is our visions and our dreams that lift our minds to lofty realms, that make us feel that there is something greater and better to work for. And when we become inspired with a desire to work for greater and better things, we will not only proceed to carry out those desires, but we will finally secure sufficient power to fulfill those desires. The nation that has no vision shall perish, he quotes. Which is funny, because what do you see America now? Split. Gay, straight, man, woman, black, white, rich, poor, Democrat, Republican. All the fucking heinous ass bullshit that society allows their overseas to dick them by. I was gonna say dictate them by, but fuck that. But dick them by is really what I'm trying to say, because that's what happened. That's what's happening. We're getting dicked by the man, knowingly, and doing nothing about it. Because we have no vision, at least no unified vision. We have 1,000 relative visions in this world of relativity where nothing is right or wrong. Don't worry, do whatever you want, whatever you do. You're where you are, you're where you're supposed to be, regardless of what. Get the fuck out of here. Really? Really? I mean, sometimes say you make a mistake and it's for the better, but really, no matter what you do, you're where you're supposed to be. I'm sure you guys have heard that quote a lot. And I feel like I shouldn't even have to go into detail on to why that's just a ridiculous fucking one-liner to repeat, because it sounds like a good thing, because it lets us off the rope if we've been acting like a goddamn fool for the past few years. We can sit there and go, it's okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. You're where you're supposed to be, yeah, because you're a fool and you acted like a fool and now you're in a foolish circumstance. Yeah, you should be in that situation because you're a fucking fool. Sorry, I don't mean, I'm not like personally attacking any of you guys. I wanted to read something to you. I posted something. Maybe it's gone already though. I think it was on my story, but it's gone now. My bad. Anywho, you guys doing good out there? That's a drug on. You've been busy in the chat room. You see that? Is death the opposite of growth? Loosely, I guess you could say maybe it's some. I guess technically, death would be the opposite of life. When I was saying growth, I was assuming the way a plant would grow. So plants only ever grow. You know what I mean? They're only ever expanding their roots, growing fruit, growing flowers, growing leaves, like they're constantly growing. The only time a tree is not producing roots, leaves, is if it's dying. So that's sort of what I was going at. Loosely what I was going for. Okay, let's continue. This is a great truth that we have heard thousands of times, and we know the reason why, but the same truth is applicable to man. If he has no vision, he will go down. But if he has visions, the highest and most perfect visions you can possibly imagine, and lives constantly for their realization, he will positively ascend in the scale. He will become a greater and a greater man. And those things that were at one time simply dreams will, in the course of time, become actualized realities. The power of love is another force in this higher group that is extremely valuable. And the reason is that it is the tendency of love to turn attention upon the ideal, the beautiful, and the more perfect. When you love somebody, you do not look for their faults. In fact, you do not see their faults. Your whole attention is turned upon their good qualities. And here, let us remember that whatever we continue to see in others, we develop in ourselves. The power of real love always tends to draw out into expression the finer elements of mind, character, and life. For that reason, we should always love much, and love the most ideal and the most perfect that we can discover in everybody and in everything that we may meet in life. We have all discovered that when a man really loves an ideal woman, or the woman that constitutes his ideal, he invariably becomes stronger in character, more powerful in personality, and more able in mind. When a woman loves an ideal man or her ideal, she invariably becomes more attractive. The beautiful in her nature comes forth into full expression. And many times the change is so great that we could hardly believe that she is the same woman. The power of love, if genuine, constant, and strong, tends to improve everything in human life. And as this power is one of the higher forces in human nature, we readily understand the reason why. We can therefore, without further comment, draw our conclusions as to how we will use this power in the future. Thank you for the links, Smith. Thank you for the support, everyone in the group. The last of these finer forces that we shall mention, and possibly the strongest, is that of faith. But we must remember, if we wish to use this force, that faith does not constitute a belief or any system of beliefs. It is a mental action, an action that goes into the very spirit of those things which you may think of or apply at the time we exercise faith. When you have faith in yourself, you place in action a force that goes into the very depth of your being and tends to arouse all the greater powers and finer elements that you may possess. I'd see he keeps going into evoking parts of you that are dormant, and that's what ambition is doing. Ambition's doing it, faith is doing it. What else? Gratitude is doing it. They're all tethering to the etheric, but also awakening parts of your soul that have been sleeping. Your traits, your character, your character, your personality, parts of you that you never thought you had. How many times have you guys listened to speakers who are just the most brilliant speakers, and they go up there and they say, I was terrified of public speaking. I would shake, I would sweat, I would stumble over my words, I couldn't read worth a damn, like I was terrified, I sucked. But they're giving seminars for thousands of people, making fucking 10 G's to speak for an hour, you know what I mean? Because they had a desire, they had a will, and they focused, they had the gratitude, they had the ambition, they had the faith in themselves that was able to instigate, that was able to evoke and arouse certain qualities in themselves that they needed in order to pursue and realize and actualize the goal that they wanted at hand. But it's a diligence. It's an acceptance of there is an objective truth. There is an objective right or wrong with what I want. And that seems to be where today's world is fucking it up so bad, is this idea that there's no such thing as good or bad. There's no right or wrong decision. And there is. There you have an objective truth. You have something, the qualities in yourself that are asleep, that if they were activated, you would be 1,000 times further in your life than where you are now. You know what I mean? All right, we're almost done with this chapter. I lost my spot. Okay, it says, whenever you have faith along a certain line, you concentrate perfectly along that line, and you cause all the power that is in your mind or system to work for the one thing that you are trying to do. It has been discovered that the amount of energy latent in the human system is nothing less than enormous. And as faith tends to arouse all this energy, we realize how important and how powerful is faith. The effect of faith upon yourself, therefore, is beneficial in the highest and largest sense, but this is not its only effect. The more faith you have in yourself, the more faith people will have in you. If you have no confidence in yourself, you will never inspire confidence in anybody. But if you thoroughly believe in yourself, people will believe in you and in your work. And when people believe in you, you can accomplish 10 times as much as when they have no confidence. When a man has tremendous faith in himself, he becomes a live wire. It is such a man that becomes a real and vital power wherever he may live or go. It is such a man who leads the race on and on. It is such a man who really does things. And it is people of such a type that we love the best. They invariably inspire others to love the nobler life and to attempt greater things. And for this reason, their presence is of exceptional value to the progress of the race. To go into details, however, is not necessary, and I agree. We all know and appreciate the value of faith. We all know that it is one of the highest and one of the greatest forces that man can exercise. We therefore realize how important it becomes to train ourselves to have unbounded faith in everything and in everybody at all times and under all circumstances. End scene. End scene. Cue. We didn't finish that chapter last week because it was a super long chapter. We just finished it this one. I'm going to take a glance at the next chapter and see. And I'll change up the vibe to this. I love this flute thing, but admittedly, it can get, you can get lost. We'll kick up our ad-free letters lo-fi beat. Let's see, get a little spunk in the step. So what did you guys think? How'd you enjoy the reading? Did you learn something? Was it useful? Was it inspiring? I'm assuming that you've heard all of this before to some degree with one or two things that we touched on. Might be kind of new for you guys and hopefully super helpful. Ashira is on right now, bro. Nice. Slay Ashira. Slay. 7 says clear face, vast face for real. What? Yeah, thanks for the applause, Smith. Agreed, Drogon. I agree with the fact if you lack confidence, it is validated in so many different ways. Yes, people are wild. People are interesting. Here's a tip. All right, guys, for getting shit done. I get caught up in this a lot, especially the more time I spend on social media. It's easy to get caught up in the people are fools, although a lot of times they are. We have to we got to keep the mindset of starting at neutrality. And then the direction we choose after that must be in alignment with the thing we want done. So, example. Say you come across 50 people. And let's say you're heavy into politics. Say half those people are Democrat, the other half are Republican. And you go, fuck the Democrats, yada yada yada, whatever your reason is. And so that thought contaminates your mind. It contaminates the conversations you have with those 25 people. It contaminates your ability to work harmoniously with those 25 people. Like this is what I mean by videos like this, right? We're in the room, we're reading old books. Like, we're not going to have hundreds of people in a room reading old books. It's just not going to happen because the reason being, the stadiums are packed with people. Entertainment is rampant, but knowledge is scarce. Not that knowledge is scarce; it's actually fucking everywhere. It's just whatever. So instead of criticizing someone that you don't like, say, oh, Democrat, Your idea should be there's 50 people, half are Democrat, half are Republican. How can I speak with all 50 of these people so that I can get the pyramid built on my fucking property? That's what I'm saying. I, so I see them almost as on both sides. If they're plugged into the matrix and can be accessed by Agent Smith, what up? Shout out Agent Smith. Then they can be accessed by me. So why am I going to start a fight with a bunch of people who I don't agree with because of politics or because of whatever, gender pronouns or the color of their skin or their sexual identity or whatever, like whatever divisional thing that goes on? Instead of falling into that bait, I'm just gonna orchestrate. I'm gonna be an orchestrator. Like a violin section, go. Percussion section, go. Stand up cellos, ease up a little bit. All right, now come in hot, right? I'm an orchestrator. As magicians, as alchemists, we're orchestrators. There's not many of us, but the influence we have is almost infinite. You know what I mean? There's some working on the light side, there's some working on the dark side. And then there's some working in the neutral gray area. Sometimes they're dark side, sometimes they're light side. I'd say a lot of us fall into the gray area. Maybe some of us fall into the dark side. I don't know. I'm saying the information and knowledge of how to manifest, like we're reading in this book, gratitude. You can be on the dark side and have gratitude. You know what I mean? Darth Vader was thankful for his masters teaching him how to use the dark side of the Force. You know what I mean? They had plenty of ambition. Dark side's got ambition. They've got faith in themselves, overbearing confidence. Sometimes more than the opposite, I would say, most of the time. They have all the qualities it takes to excel. It's not about, in that case, it's not about he's a bad guy so we can't have access to power. Like, that's not the thing at all. It's just we gotta learn to work with energies, which helps by approaching them from a neutral standpoint so that we don't overreact or underreact. We act exactly as we mean to act. I don't see people as fools anymore, just different perspectives. I used to hate people, now I just see everyone as different. Yeah. Imagine learning how to tap into that dark side of God without being consumed by it. I think that's the trick. There's not a way in order to excel at something, you have to be consumed at it. I think consumed by it. I think that's the whole point of everything that we've been studying is one must be consumed by their highest ideal. But if you want to be good at the dark side, you have to be consumed by it. If you want to be good by the light, you have to be consumed by it. You can't half-ass something. Or you can half-ass the dark side, you can half-ass the light side, but you won't be successful. I mean, that's what most people do. They're successful robbers, like they're successful dark side people, and those are your bankers. You know what I mean? And then you have your unsuccessful dark side people, and those are the schmucks who go to jail for murder and things like that. So, consumption, to allow yourself to be destroyed by the thing that you want most. Bum bum bum. Shut that. But Oh yeah, let me check how long the next chapter is, if it's worth reading, because it's getting kind of late over here. Chapter 20, the greatest power in man, with all thy faults, I love thee still. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, let's just finish it tonight, you guys. What do you say? There's only one chapter left and we're done with the book. Should we end the video and start another one, or should we just run straight through it? What do you guys think? Persona Data. Oh man. Don't thank me, thank the books. I'm literally just reading books to you guys. So, but I'm happy. I'm happy to share it. I'm happy to I'm happy to be doing. I'm happy to literally just be sitting here. I got a new house. I have, like, you can see this new shed thing that I'm in. It's like a barn inside. It's plenty of space. I feel like just the vibe in here is so fucking nice. Candles going and shit. Like, it's nice to just be in here doing this without anything else, without the subscribers and the likes and the comments and shit. Like, obviously I want those things, and that will help me grow to my ambitions and things that I'm trying to accomplish, that I will accomplish. But I just like doing this, man. This is hella fun. So thank you guys kindly for even being here. You know what I mean? This is dope. Yeah. Anyway, okay. So carrying on. Should we change up the music though? We better run on the Daduke. I do like the Daduke, but it's we have other options. There's something called My Noise. I'm gonna put it in here for you guys because it's actually super dope. You guys can use it on in your own spare time for background music. There's like hundreds of stuff. I threw them $5 too for a donation, so I have access to their whole thing. They've got like hundreds of lists. Anyway, give me a quick. How about this? If your feet are a little bit cold, go put some socks on. If you're thirsty, pour yourself some wine or something. If you're trying to get a little comfy comfs, burn some oregano. For a second while I browse through some copyright-free background music. To hear an audio enable autoplay for My Noise. It's a browser setting. Content sound. What? This is called the Who chant. To some, the Who chant is spiritual. For others, it's a simple but profound practice, sort of vocal meditation, best experienced in a large group. In this chant practice, there are no rules of melody or timing. Sing Who, more or less, however it comes out. It's kind of nice. I guess what about the Who chant? Gregorian chants? That might be a little too. I love Gregorian chants though, speaking of which. Oak song. Cool. It's called the Oak Song. Lovely. Might be a little distracting though. Cosmic Honey, you got a new house too? What up? Congratulations on the new house. Eden, proceed. Copy that, Eden. Copy that. All right. Let us carry on. Oh, shit. I didn't pick a song. Fuck. Landscapes. We can throw a landscape in there down in the Amazon. Palm Garden Falls, Calm Lake, Forest Breath, tropical birds, African wildlife. Tierra del Fuego. What's that? A volcano? Nocturnal garden. That sounds nice, actually. Yeah. We're going to have some nocturnal garden going in the background. We're going to chill that cricket out a little bit, though. That cricket also. Cicada. No, the cicada is what I wanted out. The crickets can come back. Cicada. I'm not a big fan of cicada sounds. I don't know how you guys feel about cicadas. Ooh, that's the water. Some prayer calls in the background. All right. How do you guys feel about the nocturnal garden? Not too distracting? Lemuria, the one, the only, reborn. Lemuria, what up? My birthday is on the 13th. Empress Cosmic Honey, hello. We are almost there, you guys. We are almost there. Give me just a few more seconds. Just a few more seconds. I'm gonna layer it with some singing bowls. How do you guys feel about that? We'll take away some of the harmonics. It doesn't get too carried away. All right, let's slam this. Let me know if the music is too loud. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back. Final chapter of your forces and how to use them. It's taken us like half a year to finish this bitch, and it's spread across 2 households, but that's how we do it. Some things take time. Some things take time. Chapter 20. The greatest power in man. Again, here's a link if you guys would like to follow along. All right. Not too loud. Nice. With all thy faults, I love thee still. Thus sings the poet, and we call him sentimental. That is, at first thought we do. But upon second thought, we change our minds. We then find that faults and defects are always in the minority, and that the larger part of human nature is so wonderful and so beautiful that it must inspire admiration and love in everybody. With all their defects, there's nothing more interesting than human beings. And the reason is that for every shortcoming in man, there are 1,000 admirable indescribable qualities. The poet, being inspired by the sublime vision of truth, can see this. Therefore, what can he do but love? Whenever his eyes are lifted and whenever his thoughts take wings, his soul declares with greater eloquence than ever before, what a piece of work is man. Thus every moment renews his admiration, and every thought rekindles the fire of his love. It is the conclusion of modern psychology that the powers and the possibilities inherent in man are practically unbounded. And this conclusion is based upon two great facts. First, that no limit has been found to anything in human nature, and second, that everything in human nature contains a latent capacity for perpetual development. That's important. Everything in human nature contains a latent capacity for perpetual development. The discovery of these two facts, and no discovery of greater importance has appeared in any age, gives man a new conception of himself, a conception which, when applied, will naturally revolutionize the entire field of human activity. To be able to discern the real significance of this new conception becomes, therefore, the greatest power in man, and should, in consequence, be given the first thought in all efforts that have advancement, attainment, or achievement in view. The purpose of each individual should be not simply to cultivate and apply those possibilities that are now in evidence, but also to develop the power to discern and fathom what really exists within. This power is the greatest power because it prepares the way for the attainment and expression of all other powers. It is the power that unlocks the door to all power, and must be understood and applied before anything of greater value can be accomplished through human thought or action. The principal reason why the average person remains weak and incompetent is found in the fact that he makes no effort to fathom and understand the depths of his real being. He may try to use what is in action on the surface, but he is almost entirely unconscious of the fact that enormous powers are in existence in the greater depths of his life. These powers are dormant simply because they have not been called into action, and they will continue to lie dormant until man develops his greatest power. The power to discern what really exists within him. Well, that was trippy. I was reading the page and it got super trippy. The whole page, the lines of the sentences started going in opposite directions of each other. They were like, one was going left and the other was going right across the whole. That was weird. The fundamental cause of failure is found in the belief that what exists on the surface is all there is of men. And the reason why greatness is a rare exception instead of a universal rule can be traced to the same cause. When the mind discovers that its powers are inexhaustible and that its faculties and talents can be developed to any degree imaginable, the fear of failure will entirely disappear. In its stead will come the conviction that man may attain anything or achieve anything. Whatever circumstances may be today, such a mind will know that all can be changed, that the limitations of the person can be made to pass away, and that the greater desires of the heart can be realized. That mind that can discern what exists in the depths of the real life of man does not simply change its views as to what man may attain and achieve, but actually begins to draw in measure upon those inexhaustible powers within, and begins accordingly to develop and apply those greater possibilities that this deeper discernment has revealed. When man can see through and understand what exists beneath the surface of his life, the expression of his deeper life will begin, because whatever we become conscious of, that we tend to bring forth into tangible expressions. And since the deeper life contains innumerable possibilities as well as enormous power, it is evidence that when this deeper life is clearly discerned and completely taken possession of in the consciousness, practically anything may be attained. I'm gonna write that paragraph down because that was a banger. That was a goddamn banger of a paragraph. Thank you. The idea that there is more of man than what appears on the surface should be so constantly and so deeply impressed upon the mind that it becomes a positive conviction. And no thoughts should be placed in action unless it is based upon this conviction. To live, think, act in realization that there is more of me should be the constant aim of every individual, and this more will constantly develop, coming forth in greater and greater measure, giving added power and capacity and life to everything that is in action in the human system. When the average individual fails, he either blames the circumstances or comes to the conclusion that he was not equal to the occasion. He therefore easily gives up and tries to be content with the lesser. But if he knew that there was more in him than what he had applied in his undertaking, he would not give up. He would know by developing and applying this more, he positively would succeed where he had previously failed. It is therefore evident that when man gives attention to his greater power, the power to discern the more that is in him, he will never give up until he does succeed, and in consequence, he invariably will succeed. That individual who knows his power does not judge according to appearances. He never permits himself to believe that this or that cannot be done. He knows that those things can be done because he has discovered what really exists within him. He works in the conviction that he must, can, and will succeed because he has the power, and it is the truth. He does have the power. We all have the power. I got the power. Sorry, I had to. To live, think, and work in the conviction that there is more of you within the real depths of your being, and to know that this more is so immense that no limits to its power can be found, will cause the minds to come into closer and closer touch with this greater power within. And you will consequently get possession of more and more of this power. The mind that lives in this attitude opens the door of consciousness, so to speak, to everything in human life that has real quality and worth. It places itself in that position where it can respond to the best that exists within itself. Modern psychology has discovered that this best is extraordinary in quality, limitless in power, and contains possibilities that cannot be numbered. It is the truth that man is a marvelous thing, nothing less than marvelous. And the greatest power is the power to discern the marvelousness that really does exist within each and every one of us. It is the law that we steadily develop and bring forth whatever we think of the most. It is therefore profitable to think constantly of our deeper nature and to try to fathom the limitlessness and the inexhaustibleness of these great and marvelous depths. I'm going to pause right there and mention something right now. First of all, I appreciate that not once, or maybe once in this whole book has he mentioned fucking the law of attraction or some bullshit like that. What he's saying in this last line, he came close to it. He says that it is the law that we steadily develop and bring forth whatever we think of the most. That's like the closest he's gotten to fucking modern, to like the secret. Well, he did it a few times. I don't know if you guys caught it, but rarely does he do it. But he doesn't say like attracts like, or you just think things and they attract themselves to you. What he's saying is that when we take power of the limitless depth and capacity that we have for creation. And there's a well in each and every one of us that's inexhaustible. It's attached to the other side. And the more we realize that, the more we realize that it's infinite. So it's not even like I felt like you. It's not even like Eureka! I found the source. It's like, no, you've what you found is that there is no source. It's inexhaustible. And by going that route and by keeping your mind in that frame, you activate qualities of your mind, practical qualities of your mind, your confidence, your commitment, seeing things through, faith in yourself, in your actions, in the people around you, which people can feel. Like all these practical character traits become filled with this power that you're finding from within yourself, right? It's not hocus pocus. It's not, I'm going to think of stuff and it's just going to fall into my lap. Like, fuck that. It's not that. It's not that. It's not. It's you as a god or goddess tapping into something. It's like a faucet. You fucking hit the switch and you're just filled with shit, and all the latent little bing, 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 like little switches start getting switched on in your body. You're better. You're more on point, more energy, more confident, more faith. All this shit starts lighting up. And then, of course, when you start to fucking slay and your conversations are on point and your expression is on point and you're able to speak your mind clearly and you're able to express yourself clearly and you're able to work with people and not work against people, but harmonize instead of dissonance, then of course you start attracting things in your life. But it's not because of some like intangible wishy-washiness of just like things sticking to you all of a sudden because you're thinking like about money all the time. Like, get the fuck out of here. It's like, come on, you guys. Again, I'm not talking to you. I'm like talking to the invisible boogeyman that I'm always talking to in my head. I just happened to be doing it out loud this time. Anywho, let's go ahead and I'm going to write that paragraph down for a sec. And I'm going to have some water. Where are we? Cool. Someone on the Patreon, Jordan Ray. What up, man? I don't know if you're on the live right now, but thanks. Okay. Check on the room. Make sure everything's still going good. All right, everything's good. Pasha Saturn. What up? What up? Oh, Shaw? What up, Shaw? What up? Okay. I learned that I gain happiness from other people's demise. Dope. That's metal, dude. Gangster. Okay, let us continue. I'm going to put a little slide animation on our singing bowls to give a little dynamics. Carrying on. In practical life, so the last paragraph, it is the truth that man is a marvelous being, yada yada. It is therefore profitable to think constantly of our deeper nature and to try to fathom the limitlessness and the inexhaustibleness of these great and marvelous depths. In practical life, this mode of thinking will have the same effect upon the personal mind as that which is secured in a wire that is not charged when it touches a wire that is charged. The great within is a live wire, and when the mind touches the great within, it becomes charged with more and more with those same immense powers, and the mind will constantly be in touch with the great within when it lives, thinks, works, in the firm conviction that there is more of me, so much more that it cannot be measured. I so low key, the reason why I wanted to read this last chapter is because this dude is a fucking he's a wonderful writer, and there's like poetry, and it's written almost like a giant motivational speech that's not, that doesn't overdo it with like the frilly feel good shit. It's super feel good, don't get me wrong, but it's done well, man. It's done tastefully, and I knew it, I seen it, that this last chapter was just going to be him being the most persuasive of this whole book. So I'm like finding myself copying and pasting every paragraph, but really I should just go back to this chapter to make other content. Anywho, he says, we can receive from this deeper life only that which we constantly recognize and constantly realize, because consciousness is the door between the outer life and the great within. And we open the door to those things of which we become conscious. Or I'm sorry, he said, and we open the door to those things only of which we become conscious. The principal reason, therefore, why the average person does not possess greater power and talents is because he is not conscious of more, and he is not conscious of more because he has not vitally recognized the great depths of his real life, and he has not tried to consciously fathom the possibilities that there are latent powers within him. The average person lives on the surface. He thinks that the surface is all there is of him, and consequently does not place himself in touch with the live wire of his interior and inexhaustible nature. He does not exercise his greatest power, the power to discern. The power to discern what his whole nature actually contains. Therefore, he does not unlock the door to any of his other powers. This being true, we can readily understand why mortals are weak. Who, Larson? What the fuck? You're getting all frilly on me. You just took a dip in the dark side. I like it, and I appreciate it. Just wasn't expecting it. He says, this being true, we can readily understand why mortals are weak. They are weak simply because they have chosen weakness. But when they begin to choose power and greatness, they will positively become what they have chosen to become. We all must admit that there is more in man than what is usually expressed in the average person. We may differ as to how much more, but we must agree that the more should be developed, expressed, and applied in everybody. It is wrong both to the individual and to the race for anyone to remain in the lesser when it is possible to attain the greater. It is right that we all should ascend to the higher, the greater, and the better now. And we all can. The end. I'm about to cry right now. I almost started tearing up a bit. My eyes started watering a bit. This might be one of my all-time favorite books to read. For like I guess you would call it esoteric, spiritual, self-development sort of thing, if you can call it that. This is amazing. I'm so stoked. This is a wonderful book. This is an absolutely wonderful book. I'm so glad you guys were here for the finish of it. That makes me super happy. Nice. Fuck yeah. Brings a tear to my eye. It's like I'm thankful that so much of, like, especially this past year, this past couple, or like the past a while, I'm so thankful that for a while now I've like, I can see these practices in myself, and I'm like, I see where I lack, and I see where I failed. Like this last chapter I was reading it, And like when I was playing baseball in college, like I was a phenomenal player. I broke records. I still have records held for the state of California for batting average, for hit streaks, for all pop time, all kinds of shit. I was getting scholarships as a sophomore to UC Davis, Division I school in California. And then something and my mind glitched hard in college. Something glitched hard, and I couldn't see past my error. I couldn't see. I didn't know how to fix it. I didn't believe that it could be fixed. I couldn't visualize or imagine a way in which I overcame the problems. It was fucking strange, and I still feel it to this day. And like reading this last chapter, and I read like this whole book, like, things like that come up, and I'm like, it was the not being able to imagine or to activate or facilitate like these things in me of faith, of trust, of belief, of desire, of ambition, of focus, of even knowing that I was capable of doing more. And but not just knowing, because it's easy to say like, oh, of course I'm capable of more. Like, everyone believes that, but to feel that as a reality within your fucking bones is a totally different ball game. It's to feel something in yourself further than a concept is so hard to do. So fucking hard to do. But when you do it, it's like, I don't know, man, it's everything. It's everything. And I've been able to see that. Like it's almost like this, you have a hiccup and you don't even see it as a hiccup, or you acknowledge the hiccup, you acknowledge the mistake, like I fucked up. But it's not the end of the world. It can be fixed. It can be adjusted. I've learned. Now I can do it better. Just stick with it. Don't give up. Don't contemplate how it can go wrong. Contemplate how it can go right. Keep the vision in your mind. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? And when you're feeling low on energy, pull that image up. When you're feeling down, pull that image up. When you're feeling unmotivated, pull that image up. When you're feeling sad, pull that image up. Makes me emotional just fucking thinking about it. But anywho, we gotta find another book now. We gotta find another book. There was a god awfully amazing website that was all books in public domain, meaning I can read them and monetize them on my channel. And I lost it. And the sad part is I actually looked. I looked again, at least twice. I gave it the old college try twice and was unable to locate the site. And I'm so sad because all of them looked at the titles and the description of each one. I was like, this is it. This is gold. This is the shit we need to be reading. This is it right here. And I got this last book from that website, and I can't find it. Can't find it. We'll keep looking though. Keep looking. Dragon Smith, Prasanna Datta, Iman al-Shawab. Shawab. How do I pronounce that? Iman al-Shawab. I'm gonna scroll through you guys' comments just because I feel like I missed. Brienne, what's up? Long time no see, Brienne. Thanks for tuning in. Imagine being able to invite pure evil inside, yet not be consumed by it. Sounds like a plot for a good fantasy novel. I might have to write that down in my fantasy novel notes. I've been taking notes for a fantasy novel that I keep telling myself that I'm going to write. But realistically, I'm probably not going to write unless I actually fucking sit down and start writing it. But I like that. Fantasy novel. New notes. Inviting darkness in and not becoming corrupt. Did I spell that right? Corrupt. Under the plot section. Under subplot section. Nice. Thank you kindly. Appreciate that. Pizza toppings? What about pizza toppings? Time could you speak the truth, Dragon. Dude, 100%. It's been therapy, especially this finishing this book. I felt something, dude. I'm telling you guys. If I wasn't unalive, I probably would have let a few tears stream out, like if I was reading this by myself. But seriously, I really enjoyed it. Smith, maybe you can help me find that book. The books that I was looking for. All the books on the webpage are like a maroon and gold, like Gryffindor colors, and the whole homepage is just Gryffindor colored books. And it's basically like the idea we were talking about of doing the cool leather bound old texts. That's what this website was doing, but all the books were the same exact color, same style, same everything, but just different titles and pages. I'll slam it and I'll start looking like it's like old books or old esoteric texts would be Google search or something like that. I would imagine I looked at. And if you see a website with a whole bunch of books on the front cover, esoteric books, and their Gryffindor colors, let me know that you found it, because you got to find it. Conviction, focus. Those are the real superpowers. Fuck yeah. You know what I was thinking the whole time? I was thinking of your Nikola Tesla. I was thinking of your Elon Musk. Even if you're working for the dark side, whatever. Like, people look at these people and they go and they put them on God level, because to the average person, they are gods. What is a god? A god is simply someone who can manifest whatever the fuck they want almost instantaneously. That's why we want to be gods. You want to manifest strength, or the ability to control the weather, or to control people's minds, or to fly. Like, we want the ability to manifest things instantly, and that's what people like Nikola Tesla were doing, what Elon Musk are doing. They're like, the dude went from I want to program software to PayPal to I want to put a fucking rocket on Mars, on the moon, and he's doing it. It's like, because he had a will, a desire, because he believes 100% that there is no cap to his power. Like, if you would have a conversation with Musk, there would be no hint of doubt, or there might be a hint of doubt, because he's expressed concern, but like, the faith is there. The belief is there. The conviction is there. The idea, the dream, the focus, it's there. Focus is a superpower, but it's not out of our reach. It is. And today, someone mentioned porn in the chat room. It's like porn, at least unhealthy. I'm sure there's like spiritual ways of using sexuality, of course, don't get me wrong, but there's also dark ass ways to expend it. Life energy. And porn is fucking 100% one of those ways to uselessly expend powerful life force energy. It taps from your focus. It taps from your will. It taps from your commitment. It taps from your faith. It taps from everything. Like, don't get it twisted, y'all. Don't get it twisted. Also, what Smith said in response to you, Drogon, 100%. I'm a girl show. Superman, Batman, Black Panther, and think, what would it be like to fly, to be rich, to run, to not get tired? None of these things mean nothing without self-control. 100%. 100%. Give Atlas kisses. Shop. I'm always giving Atlas kisses. I'll give them some extra, and I'll tell them that Pasha Saturn sent them. Close to your kit. Message retracted. Bum, bum, bum. You must be feeling that borax. Sage Crow, what up? I think I am, man. I think the pineal I think a few calcium crystals just got knocked off my pineal gland from that borax finally. That's all. I can just feel the borax crystals dissolving the calcium in my brain. Sage Crow, I totally forgot to send you all those sage seeds, man, in that last package that you ordered. I'm so sorry. I sent out your package, and I think like the day after, I accidentally kicked the bucket over that had all the sage seeds inside of it. And I was all, fuck, I was supposed to send these out. My bad. Vivian Potter. Happy is Ostara. Happy Ishtar. Yeah, happy 6 different holidays that all have to do with with Easter, right? Ishtar. Oh my God, did you find it, Smith? To be alive is super well said. You did not find it. No, I don't think this is it, but this looks dope too. Chaldean Oracles of Zoroaster. This wasn't it, Smith. Oh, this is sacred text. This is where the website that I read the Kabbalion to you guys from, and I read the Emerald Tablets from this website. It's not this one though, Smith. It's not. I'm telling you, the homepage has a whole bunch of thumbnails of different books. Like the page that you see when the page pops up, there's at least 10 to 15 thumbnails of different esoteric books, sacred texts, and they're all maroon and gold. It has the title of the book and author under each thumbnail. That's what the home page looked like. I'll do some more digging too. I haven't looked at it in a couple of weeks, but the Divine Pymander, that sounds familiar. Yeah, Hermes Trismegistus. Interesting. This is good too, though. How long is this? To Asclepius. You know, it's funny. I'm it's gonna take me probably a good year or two, but I'm gonna build up my collection of milkweed plants, the ones that the monarch butterflies eat. You know, the monarch butterflies are like dying right now. So for those of you that buy milkweed, by the way, to help the butterflies out, do me a fucking solid, all right? Only plant milkweed plants that are native to your area. In California, at least, I don't know where you guys live. They sell these milkweed plants that are the flowers blossom red and orange. Those are not. Do not buy those. Those are the milkweed plants for the tropics. So the monarchs start in like Alaska or some crazy shit like that, and they migrate down to Mexico, from North America down to Central America, and they have it timed perfectly. When they pass through Washington, that's when a certain flower blooms, the milkweed. When they pass through Oregon, a certain one blooms. When they pass through Northern California, a certain one blooms. When they pass through Southern California, a certain one blooms. Mexico, South Mexico, Nicaragua, like all the way down, right? So so they move. That's how they migrate. They move with the plants as they bud. Now, I don't know about where you guys live, but in California, at the hardware shops, they only sell the showy orange and red milkweeds. And the reason why is because they bloom all year. So they look really pretty. You have them in your garden. Sure, they attract butterflies. They look really cool. Everyone thinks they're saving the planet, but they're not. They're actually hurting because since the flowers never stop blooming, the monarchs never leave. So they don't migrate. They just hang out around this stupid ass bush that's supposed to be in fucking Chihuahua, Mexico, or some southern ass state, but they're chilling in California, and when they get diseases, they die. They don't migrate. Like, so why is this relevant? Oh, anywho, I was doing research on which ones to grow for my area, and the milkweed, they're called Asclepius. That's the botanical name for milkweed, Asclepius, which is Hermes trismegistus. Like, you guys have read the Corpus Hermeticum where he talks about Hermes where we at? The seventh book, to Asclepius, to be truly wise. And I was like, that's interesting. Interesting plot twist. That we're all about the Hermetics and shit. Now I'm trying to save them with the milkweed. Come to find out, the milkweeds are called Asclepius. What up? Right? Is that a sign or what? Tell me that's not a sign. Tell me that's not a sign. I'll call you a liar. Tell me that's not a sign. I'll call you a liar. Yeah, Sage, my bad. I'll get him to you. I promise. Richie, what up? Richie, breathe. You missed it, brother. We finished. We finished your forces and how to use them. And that last chapter was fucking glorious, man. I almost cried. Twice. Lemuria, what up? Yeah. Avocado, beach life. Those are some nice emojis. Is that an arrow or is that a shooting star? Both. Some monoliths and rainbows. That's cracking. Yeah, keep looking for those books, Smith. I'll look again too. I got to, because now we need a new book. We need a new book. What do you guys have anything else to add to the chat? Anything you would like to say? Anything you would like to share? I know it's late as hell where some of you guys are living right now, so thanks for staying up and hanging out. Thanks for sharing the content. Tomorrow night, Monday, I will be on the Discord server for the Patreon members. Everyone who's on the Patreon, you should have received a link. That link is the invitation to the Discord. Someone messaged me just about an hour ago saying that they're new to Discord. I guess I'll just message him. But it's pretty straightforward. I know I avoided Discord for the longest time because I feel like I'm constantly having to learn new shit in this world, and it really pisses me off. But so be it. But it's pretty simple. You just download it. It takes like 2 seconds, or run it in your browser. I sent you guys a link in the Patreon messages with the Discord. Click on it. Bada bing, bada boom. You're in the Discord. It's easy as that. Click on the voice chat, little voice tab. Bada bing, bada boom. And you're in like Flynn. You can do video if you want, or you don't have to. But the idea with the Discord is going to be more of this, as we always do, but not as one-sided. So, like, what can you expect? Well, you can expect conversations roundtable style. Richie, Smith, Stalavi, Alchemy. Like, the idea is to connect in a meaningfully growth sort of way, where we're all benefiting off of each other. We're all sort of using each other's vortices to grow in mind, body, spirit, finances, plugs, networking, anything. Sky is the limit. And to just hear from more people from the squad in sort of weekly discussions that all aim loosely around Mondays. I feel like Mondays are a good day because a lot of people usually, you go back to work on Monday for the most part, so everyone's home. But that's that. Prasana data. If I wasn't as dark as I am and the lighting wasn't so weird, you would see me blushing right now. I appreciate it. Thanks for being here. We will do more, Prasana. We will do more. Again, thank the books. Thank the fairies. Thank life itself for these lives. Thank it all. Yeah. Good night, Prasanna. Also, yeah, Lemuria, sign up, man. It's I haven't updated the Patreon with the tiers, but every tier also. All tiers of the Patreon have access to the private Discord. It'll be like, boom, new Patreon member, and I'll just be like, boom, what up, homies? Here's a link to the Discord. Yeah, Lemuria. Low key, I've been looking forward to having a conversation with you for a while, Lemuria. I feel like you're always dropping like key tokens. You're like, you're not talking a lot, which I appreciate. But when you do talk, it's meaningful, insightful, and relevant, which I also really appreciate. Like your style. So if you do show up, dope. And if you don't, maybe we'll just have to have you in a live or something. But yes, Richie, voice chat tomorrow night. I have a music rehearsal, and I told him to get here around 4. So that means we should be wrapping it up around 6 Pacific Standard Time. I was aiming for 7, so it looks like we'll still be on. We'll still be at go for 7, and I don't have to do any crazy setup for it, so it'll be fast for me. But we're aiming at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And if earlier, I'll let you guys know. I mean, if you can't make it, whatever, I could just jump in earlier if you guys want to show up earlier. If you guys want to be in there talking to each other, like it's not a hard 7, you know what I mean? That's what she said. But no, it's not a hard 7. It's like, well, what's up? It's the Discord, you know what I mean? So the room's always open. Jump in there, say what up, introduce yourself. You guys can talk amongst each other without fucking these things. You know what I mean? That's the sort of thing. It's like I'm creating the Discord so that it's not Keith Garcia, man of letters, hosting, holding, and facilitating and dictating everything. It's like now it's going to be a shared magic in the Discord space. So by all means, if you guys want to set something up of your own accord, slay away, brothers and sisters. All I'm doing is I'm creating the container and the vibe and bringing the people in. And yes. So love you too, Pasha. All right, good night, everyone. Thanks for sticking around. I'll talk to you soon, okay? Okay. All right, peace out. Thank you, Smith, for everything. Richie, thanks too, man. Drogon, thank you guys. All right, see you soon.